Hi everybody. Today let's talk about Köhler's 16th etude from Opus 89 set. This one is in C sharp minor, beginning on scale degree 3. So the difficult counting, you probably think initially it might be the 32nd notes, but it's not. A lot of the counting issues that people will have with this piece have to do with the half notes and quarter notes and going back and forth between such tiny note values and such large note values. So first thing I like to do is just put the metronome on. I have mine on 50 beats a minute to the quarter note. And I'm going to tongue subdivisions of eighth notes. If I feel insecure about it, I will add the division back in. So I specifically want to address a spot in measure 11 where we have to do some pretty complicated subdivisions. What I like to do in passages like this is kind of plan my own mental click track. So that's in measure 11 to 13. The first B sharp I'm going to subdivide into eighth notes, and I'm going to keep the eighth notes until the downbeat of measure 12, where I'm going to think a triplet. And the reason for that is so I have a really even non-uplet. So for that passage, then I'm going to switch back to eighth notes and subdivide eighth notes and then 16th notes and then back to sextuplets for the end of measure 13. So starting in measure 11, I found the common denominator between 2 eighth notes and 3 eighth notes, which is 6. So that's why I divided that last section. I'll play that again. 3 A's, 3 G's, and then 2 of each on beat 4. And that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5. So if you plan out all of these divisions, you'll be able to play this passage really smoothly and with all the correct rhythms. So now let's move down to measure 17. This is the spot where you will want to, on the C sharp, you're going to switch to your B flat thumb, if you like to use your B flat thumb, through the passage, and you'll take that off exactly one line below that. Now let's talk about the cadenza. This passage is on your must practice daily list because the upcoming 16th note triplets are really tricky. If you look at the last of each group, it is it's actually a G sharp 7. It's the dominant 7th chord. And the reason I have a bracket starting on that E sharp is because that's where the 7th of the chord happens. So the first section is just the dominant chord, and then the bracket begins the dominant 7th chord. You could just practice doing rhythmic distortion. So the G sharps continue through the rest of that passage. We think we're going back to C sharp minor, but in fact we get C sharp major in measure 25. The C sharp major arpeggio that starts to happen in pickup to measure 27, keeping the flute secure using your right hand. This next section would make a great warm-up. You could do it every day this week, doing some variation of arpeggios in C sharp minor. You could also do C sharp major, since we know the passage goes there. You could also do the dominant chord and the dominant 7th chord. Through the week, you'll develop a lot of control over these high, soft passages. So if you just put the tuner on a C sharp, you can maybe even have it drone through the passage. You could stop on the C sharps. Keeping singing tone, relaxing your hands, relaxing your fingers, keeping your fingers over the keys. The two that I like to check in this particular arpeggio is on the C sharps, I just make sure that my finger, my F sharp, is right over that hole, just really gently. And then I make sure that I'm touching the A flat so I can correct if I forgot. And the closer and quicker your tiny, gentle movements are, you're going to have a much easier time playing this passage faster. One line down from there, you can see I've circled in blue. It's the same passage, just up an octave. So you could play them continuously. Another idea for this would be to practice some harmonics from a low C sharp. You can see the matching passages that I've done, they're all repeated down the octave, starting in measure 33. Directly below that in green, and then the passage that I've circled in lavender. Try practicing the passage in measure 40, the E major section, without all the pitches. So I'm just holding half notes for those dynamic changes. Then I could practice it with a little break to give myself a little more time to adjust my embouchure. Then I could take out the break. The very last thing is sort of related to measure 32 section. So this would be also part of your warm-up for the week. You could just play some So if you practice some harmonics, hopefully by the time you get to the end there, you'll have complete control by the end of the week over your soft C sharps, and your C sharps will be in tune. I hope this helps.